What is kind of your North Star? Like you having a special now, like what, when you look at your 5-10 years, like what is your North Star?
Dude, I'm doing it. That's the thing. It's like, like when people say to you guys, I guess sports is different because you're like, I want a Super Bowl or something, but like, don't you feel when you make the NFL, you're like, fuck, I just want to work. I just want to be continuing to work because
you feel that way. And then you read some comments, you're like, fuck,
I can honestly say,
I gotta change the narrative right now.
No. Really?
Yeah.
Do you look at the comments?
Oh, bro,
it's tough not to.
I mean,
that Twitter search bar, that's the devil.
You search it?
Oh, have.
I don't do that. I'll see the ads, but yeah, I would never search my name.
Bro, I've said this story before, but I remember playing on Thanksgiving, missing 2 tackles on the first drive.
Story as old as time.
Yeah, story as old as time. And all I was thinking about on the bench is like how people are just trashing me right now, because sometimes after a game, you will like quote your name and write in your name to see what people would be like, yeah, I had a pretty solid game. Like, let's see if everybody else thought the same thing. And it's like, oh, fuck, they don't. And it would just like be in your head mentally, because you wouldn't be separating yourself from like, just watching film and, knowing what you do, knowing what the coaches are saying and everybody else, and just understanding what your job is. You're like, you start to get consumed by what people think of you. It's a very slippery slope.
But that's the danger, right? Because like we're all looking for validation in this unhealthy place. We're like, why am I looking here for this shit?
It's a sickness, dude. Because you're just looking for all like, hey, I hope everybody loves me in this moment. Yeah. And you'll see 9 comments that are like, you're the best, or whatever the comment is.
But you get
the ones like, this guy fucking sucks, and you're like, man, do I? Am I actually? I
bet some of those guys are fans too of yours.
No question. There's been multiple times when I was playing that someone would say something nasty, and then you would comment back to them like, oh, I just want to see if you respond.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's a weird deal. It makes me think a lot about like anybody in the entertainment industry before the internet. And was life easier? Because obviously now people get exposure way more. People are able to see you, learn about you, become fans of you. But also the hate comes in floods.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if Jordan ever like grabbed the newspaper and was like reading through all that stuff.
I mean, that's his whole doc is like, he would literally make up shit to get angry about. It's like my fucking ex-girlfriend.
That was a bad example. That was a bad example guy.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. It's the only person I know before the internet. It is a wild deal. It's hard, man. It's hard not to feed that side of you. That's like, just wants a validation. You're like, please tell me I'm good enough.
Yes. But also, you're working. You got here because do the right people believe in me? That's the thing, right? And we all do it. Like, it's a moment of weakness. Did they nail the one thing that I think about myself? Like, are they fucking on it? And every once in a while, you're like, yeah, they got it.
Yes, I know, man.
But that's all right. Like you just can't live there, man. Like, moments of weakness are one thing, but if you live in that place, it's just. Yeah, this social media shit, it's amazing. Like, we're adults. Like, think about what this does to kids.
Right.
And they do studies. Like, Facebook does studies where they're like, wow, this is really bad. And they're like, we're going to keep doing it. But,
a lot of money.
We said we did the study.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
You had a great mindset. When you say, like, what's your North Star? You ask what the North Star is, and you're like, I'm doing it right now. That's a fantastic mindset to have.
I just wanted to be able to sell out comedy club weekends. That was it. I was like, can I sell out comedy clubs? And then, last year was a theater tour. And I was like, I don't have any desire to get to arenas. I mean, like that, I'm good here. This is a great area. I don't particularly, like, if I got there, fine. But I have no desire. I don't really like arena comedy. I like it in theaters. I like it because there's theaters where it still feels intimate, even up to like 2000, but or more.
But then you get in an arena one day.
Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't take it. I'm just saying I'm good.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing too, because it shows that you're more in line with worrying about what your craft is and what you enjoy about it versus thinking, I got to get to this next thing. I got to get to this next thing. To me, that's where you get caught up in trying to find the validation everywhere else. Yeah. Because you're so hungry to chase this ambition. Yeah. You want to know if the pulse of it is trending with you.
No, I'm with you.
That even made sense.
You just got to stay. No, you just have to stay. It totally made sense. You have to stay loving what you do. Like, you see these guys. I remember hearing a Michael Jordan quote once where someone asked him, how did you become the best? And they all thought he was going to be like, I worked harder than everybody. But the quote was, I learned to love the shitty parts. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's a kind of beautiful. I heard that. I was like, I'm going to roll into morning TV and morning radio, and I'm going to like really try. I'm going to pretend I love this shit. Yeah. That's got to be like the gym for you guys. It's like.
It's the meetings, man.
Those meetings that suck. Yeah. 'Cause I was just talking the other day. It's like part of you, as the season gets closer, you start to miss the certain things of ball, but also it's like all the shitty parts that come with like feeling that heat outside, imagining going out in a training camp, and just buckling, strapping up with the boys. Yes, they start in 6 days.
That's just
Could you even imagine doing that?
No. I mean, when we went down to U of A for the Barstool Bowl, and it was Wyoming versus Toledo.
Yeah.
And just watching guys warm up, I'm like, how the fuck did I ever do something like that?
Guys just pop the pads.
It's grueling. And the farther you get away from it, you're like, that's just crazy.
It's almost as grueling as living in Toledo.
Yeah.
That's a rough fucking city.
Yeah. Toledo's got a lot of them Confederate flags rocking out there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I've been to Toledo a couple times. Those boys, they think they're in the South or something. It is wild.
Oh, it's I did some rough weekends there coming up. I remember like a lot of different. I closed one club there. I remember like a guy drove me to the airport, and my manager at the time was like, "Did you cash the check?" And I was like, "I'm at the fucking airport." And he goes, "Cash it immediately." I was like, "I'm at the airport. What do you mean?" He's like, "The club just closed." I'm like right now? And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You closed the club." I'm like, "All right."
Wait.
So I had to like land and run to it was a Sunday thing. I had to wait till Monday or whatever. But like, yeah, the club closed.
Did you get it cashed?
I got it, but I've been stiff before.
Have you really?
Yeah, I did a gig in Atlantic City of all places, where it's like that's what you expect to get stiffed in Atlantic City. But yeah, I just filmed my half-hour special for Comedy Central. I think it was 2015, and I was doing a week in AC, and it was like not crazy money, but at the time you're like, this would be nice to have. And it was one of those gigs where they're like, you're playing the casino, but like we got you a different place to stay. Like that's how fucking insignificant you were. So I remember going in like drunk to we were on the boardwalk, but it was kind of like a shitty, sad apartment. It looked like we're like just like a PI would stay. And I came in like loaded one night after one of the sets, and I just remember looking to Cockroach, stomping it out, and then just passing out on the bed. It's all a bad omen for the week. And I was paired with 2 other comics. There was like 3 comics headlining, and one of them was like a degenerate sports gambler. In the summer, just betting on every baseball game. And we didn't speak much in the green room, but all I'd hear would be like, can't catch a fucking break. Every time he looked at his phone, just losing. He was like, the fucking Tigers. I'm like, you're betting on regular season baseball, dude. What do you expect? Like, these games are insignificant, you know? So we do the full week. And I remember at the end, my agent at the time was like, yeah, they didn't have the money. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, they don't. You're not going to get paid. I was like, that's fucking, I just was here for a week.
It sounds like you had to fire that agent.
Of course.
He had to go. You like do the gig and he's like, oh, they don't have the money to pay you.
Yeah. His whole thing was like, he owes other people way more money. I'm like, that's not the comforting words I was really looking for, but.
Well, you put a judgment on this guy?
The guy disappeared.
Oh, the agent?
No, the guy who ran
owed you
room
money?
in AC.
Yeah. You put 2 and 2 together there.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
What are some of your favorite places to play?
Favorite cities? I mean, dude, I like it. I mean, I did the Ryman here last year. That was gorgeous. That's like iconic.
It is.
The Moore in Seattle is a pretty beautiful theater. I just saw Bill Burr filmed a special there. I was like, yeah, I was thinking about filming there. I think it's like beautiful. The Wilbur in Boston. That's where I take my special. I love it. It's just like so classic. I love New York, so like wherever. But the Majestic in Dallas was pretty fucking cool.
The Majestic. Pull that up.
Sure. Yeah, that was beautiful, dude. Honestly, everywhere I was last year in the theaters was sick. But yeah, I mean, any city's cool for a night. That's the other thing too. Like, yeah, it's beautiful. Look at that. It's like just classic.
That's a nice looking place. Looks like that place, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The fucking Chicago theater, dude.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, that's a great one. Chicago theater.
Oh, that's what it's called? The one I'm talking about?
No, what?
There's one in Notre Dame that we went to. It looks very similar to that.
Oh, I don't know.
Do you notice a difference where you're at in the country? What jokes hit and what don't?
Not really. They're my crowd. I mean, nah, it's pretty consistent. Like I'm also not making like these crazy political statements in my act. If I talk politics at all or social commentary, I'm like, this better be funny. Whether you're pro-life or pro-choice, I kind of want everyone to laugh at it.
Yeah,
I'm not asking you to pick a side with my jokes. Although some people hear like a dead baby joke and they're like, "You motherfucker," but I'm like, no, it's fun. It's a fun dead baby joke.
It's a fun dead baby joke.
They exist. I did a lot of dead baby jokes in this special. I can't help it. Like you're like, I shouldn't write, dude. That's the problem. Is like I tell myself not to write dark jokes, but then you're just sitting alone in a room and you start laughing to yourself, and you're like, why the fuck are these the jokes that pop into my head? You know. Like everything that's popping into my head is like a dead baby joke or like, you know, as I said, like Hitler jokes. Like they keep making me laugh because that's what makes me laugh. Something so bad that it's funny, you know?
I mean, dead baby jokes.
I had a joke. The one joke that got me, like death threats for real was I did a joke about a baby that got eaten by an alligator at Disney. And immediately I was like, let me try a joke about this, you know? And I was at the cellar and I opened by being like, man, I don't want to come off like a gun nut, but I think if that baby was armed, he'd still be with us. And a woman stands up like, fuck you, you piece of shit. Like, and I'm just like, all right, this is weird. So let me roll with this. So I'm just messing with her at this point. I'm like, did you even watch the baby's funeral? On TV. In my head, I'm like, is she? And she's like, oh, I didn't. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you think they televise baby funerals? I'm clearly messing with her. I said, well, if you did, you would have seen the mom come on through tears and say, see you later, alligator. And she just was like horrified and ran out screaming, she wrote a long email to the Comedy Cellar, which they made the mistake of sending to me.
Yeah.
And then I just turned it into a whole fucking like 8-minute chunk that I put in a Comedy Central hour special. And Comedy Central, when I put it out, was like, you have to say before this bit that we don't condone this. And I was like,
you have to say.
So you just say Comedy Central does not condone this next one?
Yeah, I think I said something along the lines of like, Comedy Central wanted me to say that this is not funny. Mm-hmm. Me, on the other hand, I think it works. So it was like something like that. And then it was like an 8-minute bit. And legally, they were like worried that they were going to get sued because it was a real story. But the bit wasn't about the baby. It was just that opening joke was about the baby. And then everything else was about the woman complaining. But I still got messages like, I hope you, every once in a while it would like get reshared and go viral. And I would just get like, you motherfucker.
You're like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Like, we hope you fucking die. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to Disney, you know, like, although we did go surfing with Bert, on his Fully Loaded tour, and I kept thinking like, if I get eaten by an alligator, that bit's gonna go viral again.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, nice see, motherfucker.
Yeah.
How fun is that Fully Loaded tour? It seems like he does it up right.
It's probably the best tour I've ever been a part of. It was like insane. I mean, we're playing like pickup basketball one day. He brings a trainer, he brings a cold plunge. So it's like hard living at night, and then every day you're just like, he's like, hey, you guys want to do weightlifting and batting practice at the minor league stadium? I'm like, fuck yes, this sounds amazing. So
yeah,
it's great.
Dude, Bert is the life of the party. We do like a beer Olympics every year the last 3 years, and 2 years ago he came and he looked rough. Like he couldn't get his ring off his finger. He was looking all red.
Yeah, he was a little inflated.
Yeah, he had that TRT like skin tone. Yeah. And this year he comes back. He looks way better.
Yeah.
Way more put together. And I love his energy is all time. I can't believe he does it 24/7.
He's the man.
He really doesn't slow down.
He's like real life Homer Simpson if he had a lot of money.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
He is
He's
awesome,
the man.
Big fan of him.
If you could build out, let's just say you're headlining a tour, you can build out your act any way you want it. Everybody's available. What 3 acts would you take with you?
Who would I bring?
Yeah.
Damn, that's tough. I got to bring Normand.
Why'd you say it like that?
No, because I mean we're just like we have fun.
I gotta bring Normand.
Well, no,
I
he's
gotta
first.
Get my boy. I gotta.
I'm thinking about who I'm eliminating. That's why, not who I'm bringing. Stavros, I don't see him enough. I can't get him out of his house.
What's his vibe? Because he seems hilarious. I'm a fan of his.
He's the best. I mean, there's nothing. He's hilarious. He's like a fat poon hound. I mean, what's not to love about him? I love him. I mean,
he's got the perfect look with that mustache and the hair trailing.
Bro. Yeah, he's the man.
Anytime a Ravens game's happen,
dude, the Ravens thing is funny. He did the schedule release for the Ravens.
Oh, that's right. He did.
I was part of a schedule release thing for the Cowboys, they just asked me to do it, and I was like, no, I'm a Giants fan. They're like, Eli's doing it, and I was like, all right, I'll do it.
Nice.
And then it was just like Post Malone, like they call you and it's just Post Malone and a bunch of other people, like it was like the mascot, and they just like stare at you and don't say a word. And it was just me being like, what the fuck? And that was what they used. I was like, oh, yeah, I thought you were gonna let me say something like witty. They're like, no, that's good.
That's perfect. Good job. Yeah. They hang up the phone, text you. Nice.
Yeah. No, he crushed it with that schedule reveal was awesome. And yeah, so that's 2. I don't know. For the last one, anyone. I feel weird saying like an elder statesman, so I'll probably bring another guy who's like in my class comedically, maybe like Joe List or someone like that.
Joe List. I don't know if I'm familiar
He's a
with Joe.
beast. I think that's a really good show right there. Not a lot of diversity, but
A lot of diversity.
but it's a good show.
You're gonna know exactly.
You
what
know your
crowd
target
is, though.
audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what you're trying to do.